All right, welcome back to F-Body Garage. In this video, we're gonna be installing a two-step on my 2001 Trans Am. Ben's car is finally finished, my car is finished, and by finished, I mean working. So next step's gonna be going to the track. So there's a couple things we gotta do before that. One is the two-step, so let's go ahead and knock that out. All right, so in order to knock this out, it's not a super overly complicated thing. You just have to basically hook up a wire to the switch that you want to use to turn it on, hook that up to the Holley Terminator X. There's multiple wires that you can use, because basically what you're doing is you're going to hook up the wiring and then you're going to go to the input-output section and you're going to list it, and then you're going to go on the programmer, go to two-step and turn it on. It's really about just choosing which wire you want to use, how you want to apply it. So for this, it's a stick, so we're going to apply it to the brake switch. You may be saying, in a previous video, we saw you hook up a two-step. That was the Lingenfelter, I think it's LNC 2001. Back when this was on the stock ECU and we were using HB tuners, we had to have a actual, two-step device or launch control device. The Holley Terminator X has that integrated into the system. So it's literally just hooking up a wire and setting it up on the Terminator. So I took that out because we need all the room we can get in a 4th-gen, obviously, so everything we can take out, the better. All right, so the first step is, what are you going to run it to? Like I said, we're gonna hook that up to the clutch switch. Next would be which wire from the Terminator X. I'm just gonna grab the white with red stripe wire out of the Terminator X harness, and we're gonna use that. All right, so I just gotta pull wire from the harness through here. I want to put that behind this. That's right. Okay, let me yank that out real quick. Those are Phillips. Give me access to the access hole. Oh my god. I need to trim this carpet, man. Holy crap. I didn't realize I had that much excess in there. Ah, okay. There you are. See if I can feel the... No. Oh, come on, man. Alright, so now, is it really staple on the ground? Alright, so now I just gotta figure out, I just gotta run a wire. So let me do that real quick. I'm just gonna run a wire under the carpet all the way across. God, this is so much easier in the 81. Everything is so much easier in the 81. Really limited on space here. Should not be getting caught up. Should be plenty of space for you to go across. Oh. Pull this across over there. Make sure I have plenty of extra room. Oh. Is that you? That's you. Clutch switch is up there somewhere. There's plenty of room. All right. Get the old trusty super hairdryer out. The plan for this week was to block and prep or paint the 3rd gen, but unfortunately I got a curveball, and the company that I ordered the hood from sent me a hood that is full of rust. And I have now blocked one of the door panels like twice. Still not done. So yeah, it's gonna be a minute before that video comes out, unfortunately. All right, let's get inside. Oh my God, dude, I am dough white. But it is like a Florida day, so it's sunny as hell. Yeah, you're gonna have to deal with that, because if I make it any darker, you're not gonna be able to see in the car. All right, so now let's play with this wire until it gets interesting enough to show you where we put it. All right, we're gonna have to use my phone for this part. All right, so this is a clutch pedal, if you didn't know. Ding, ding. And the clutch pedal has a clutch switch. Oh, I think I just broke something. Which is that guy right there. All right, there. Oh, you can't see it because I'm blocking it. Oh, this guy. Yeah, there it is, right there. That's the clutch switch. And the clutch switch, can you see that? Oh, yeah, he can. Okay. The clutch switch has a little plug on it. Oh my God, there's so many wires, dude. All right, clutch switch has a plug on it that we gotta get off. And when we pull that out, there you go. Can you see that? Where'd it go? There's a plug right there. So what we need to do is we need to test these wires and see when we hit the clutch, when we press the clutch in, which one of these changes polarity. Is that the right word? Which wire comes on when you hit the clutch? So let's get a probe. So you can do this with a probe or a voltmeter, test light, or whatever. I'm just doing it with a probe because that's what I have, and it's the easiest way to show you when this thing lights up, which one has power. All right, so let's test brown side. Okay, so the brown, when you hit the clutch pedal, the brown turns negative. The red is ground all the time. So the brown is the one that we want. So the other thing that we know now is that when you hit the pedal, ground is applied. So in the Terminator X system, you have to set up whether you want it to be a ground signal or gonna be ground. Okay, so now let's stick you back on. I hope I don't break you because you're plastic. All right, first things first. I gotta download. First things first, I need the key to the car. Did I really? Oh, it's in my pocket. Okay. Really? Okay. And I gotta download this tune because I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember which one is the last tune we put in here. Terminator! Open, download from ECU. There's rev limiter, okay. Enable first, rev limiter 1. Spark high only, yes. RPM, really? It starts at 1 RPM. All right, so let's set you to like 2500 so we don't blow up the motor trying to set the freaking rev limiter. Then, input output. And then we'll do number 2 is gonna be a ground configure. All right, so then we go to inputs, rev limiter, ground. All right, let's go to the pin map. I should have it on there. Rev limiter, voila! All right, so what do we have open here? We have A3, A4. So the white with red stripe is A3. Let's put you in A3, rev limiter 1. Let me hit done, and then we'll save it. All right, so now that it's saved, let's upload it. Sync with ECU, send to ECU. Yeah, there we go. All right. Let it warm up a little bit before we start two-stepping. Okay, well, that didn't work. So here's the issue. When the car's on, that's helped. It was not on before when I was doing this. That was kind of stupid. So when we connect to the red wire, power, whether the button is pressed or not from the clutch switch, and then we hook it up to the brown, has no signal at all whenever you press the pedal. And then when you let go of the pedal, you have power. So unfortunately, since there's no signal at all when you press the clutch, you can't use the clutch switch to engage the two-step. If it had a ground or positive signal whenever you press the clutch, either one, it would work. But there's zero signal at all. So I called Holley tech support, and they suggested installing a brake switch instead of a clutch switch, which makes sense because whenever you hit the brake, it sends a signal to the tail light. So in theory, it would do the same thing. That's a really good idea. So we're gonna try that. All right, so the clutch switch is a 2-prong connector. It has one side that has power, and then the other side is the switch side. So whenever you press this in, it delivers power to the other side. That's the exact opposite of what we want. What we want is that whenever this gets released, we want power coming out or a ground signal. But what happens here is that there is zero signal, so not positive or ground. So there's nothing for the Holley to read off of on this. So we cannot use this in this situation. So what I've done to remedy this issue is by a brake switch, which obviously that's its whole job. is to send a signal to the tail lights. All right, so with the brake switch, there's two sections. This section has the power going in and power going out. So whenever you, let's do it this way, just so you can see. So we have power all the time. Okay, power, ground. So the car on the pink wire has power. Oh, get over here. And then the brown wire, when pressed, is ground. When you let go, is hot. So now, it'll do what we were trying to do, where it'll send out a positive signal whenever the button gets, whenever you press in the clutch. So we're just gonna set this up to be in place of the clutch switch, and it will do what it is that we've been trying to do. Also, I have the brown wire connected to a red wire that's connected to the holley, just so there's no confusion. When I was saying there's power to the pink all the time, and then there's only power to the brown whenever this is depressed. Just so you have it, this is the part number right here. It's a SLS254. Now we are going to have to make this fit because obviously the clutch switch is slightly different than the brake switch. Oh, thank God. Whew. Okay, so it does actually. Okay. Maybe one of the ones that you have to physically turn. Nope, there it goes. Perfect. That brake switch actually slides right into place where the clutch switch was, so it's plug and play, which I never say, because nothing ever is, but it goes right in. So, all right, so let's get this thing warmed up so we can make sure the two-step is working. All right, it works. Cool. And there's a big difference between the LNC 2001 and an actual two-step. Jesus. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. Hopefully we don't blow any valve springs or head gaskets. That's gonna be it for this week's episode. Hopefully we will have the body work done in the next one for the 3rd gen, but I have a feeling I'm gonna have to do this in the background while I do some other videos. I mean, the reality is there is a lot of work that needs to be done, and I don't want to bore you with just like sanding and sanding and sanding for the next 2 weeks. So I'm gonna do this stuff in the background, and you know, we have some other stuff coming up anyway. So as soon as it's all done, then I'll put it in a video so that it's in one video instead of over and over again. But yeah, I mean, until the next.